So, as you can see, I have two fish here. Obviously, I'm going to start with the one that's in the tank that I removed the lid from and laid the light over top of. But I went ahead and put one in my second tank so that way she can kind of get a little settled down, get kind of a little slightly familiar with the little tank, so that way maybe she'll be a little more comfortable to photograph. Also, an interesting thing about these two fish, let me zoom in here. Well, you're not going to be able to see very well this fish without the light over it, but let's focus on this fish. Okay, so bought these two fish on eBay. Neither one ended up being what it was supposed to be like in the picture. Now, this was a sorority batch, and there was multiple fish that all looked very similar. And I picked one of each of the two colors of yellow patterns that they had. They had the solid yellow, which is what this one was supposed to be, but this one turned out to be white. But let's focus on this one first. So this one here is a yellow pineapple, and it was supposed to be very, very vibrant yellow. Like really, really bold neon yellow. I'm not sure where something bold yellow is around me that I could grab real quick to compare color wise to show you what it was supposed to kind of look like, but just picture bright, bold yellow. And as you can see here, I got faded pastel yellow. Now it still technically is a yellow pineapple Dumbo female Betta, so I'm not really complaining too much about that one. Yes, the picture plain as day showed all of the yellow pineapple Dumbos being super bold yellow, and this one clearly is not. And I waited to see if the fish would color up, and nothing. And I've had these fish for like a week and a half now. So obviously if it was going to color up from stress of shipping or anything like that, where its color might have faded, obviously it would have done that by now. So yeah, or actually it's been 14 days. Actually it might be 15 days. 14 or 15, anyway. I like to quarantine my fish for at least 2 weeks before I put them in their permanent home. So these two are being moved from their quarantine tank to their permanent sorority tank with some other girls. But as you can see, people, this fish, she's a yellow pineapple, but she ain't nearly as bold as what was in the picture on the seller's listing. I'll have to try to remember to insert a picture or few into this video so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah. And then this girl, she's just kind of chilling there now, looking at the duckweed up there. She was supposed to be a solid, bold yellow, and she ended up being white. The seller said, oh, it's supposed to be gold. Well, there was two different types of yellows, and I figured the gold Dumbo was going to be the solid yellow one. Why say actual gold if you don't even have gold colored fish in your picture? Like, what the heck? So regardless, this fish is not bold yellow like I thought it was going to be, and it's not gold like the seller says it was supposed to be. So yeah, and the seller just like keeps ignoring me. I've responded multiple times, and I've given him multiple days in between, and thinking I'm gonna have to leave some negative feedback for him on eBay, because they just, yeah. If I wanted a white fish, I would have bought a white fish from somebody else. So anyway, back to the setup here. As you can see, this works out pretty nicely, and you just pull up a step and you get down kind of eye level to the fish, and you can just zoom in and wait for them to get in a nice little spot, and then just take a picture of them. Obviously try to avoid when they're in the corners, but like where she's at like right now, swimming, like I could have done a picture right there. But yeah, so this is a nice little way to photograph your fish. And these two little half-gallon tanks from Walmart were very cheap. I forget how cheap they were, but I may double check and add that into the video. But they were under $10 each. So very, very cheap to put a fish in to photograph it. And the poster board obviously wasn't very much either. And then the foil, I literally just pulled a little bit of foil off and cut it and laid it shiny side up underneath. Obviously the foil didn't cost much. And the light that I have here, this one, I think it was either 16 or 18 and some odd cents on Amazon. So it wasn't very much either. So a simple little inexpensive way to photograph your fish. Okay, so I bought what was labeled on the website as, I believe it was a pineapple yellow, I think is how it was worded. I'll have to go back into it here in a bit. Okay, anyway, the pineapple type body with the yellow and the white fins is what one of the Bettas was. This is just a base picture that the seller has. Anyway, as you can see swimming around, there's a few yellow with the pineapple body with the white fins, different places. Like here's another one. And so that's what one of the colors was that I purchased. And as for the other yellow one, it would have been one of these solid yellow. But anyway, the one girl that I purchased is supposed to be solid yellow with possibly a few little blotches of color on her, because some of the solid yellow ones have a few little blotches of color on them in here. So some are true solid yellow and some are not, and I'm not. And the pineapple yellow with the white edge on the fins, you can see very, very easily that these are very vibrantly yellow, especially the solid yellow. So hopefully my two girls that I got just need to color up a little bit more, because I really hope the seller didn't sell me something that looks a bit different than what the two pictures look like on their listing. So really hoping that they yellow up and become this super vibrant yellow that they're supposed to be. Okay, I just checked. It's called Platinum Gold and Pineapple Yellow is the two colors that I purchased, as the seller had them labeled as in the listing. And I also asked about the colors to double check to make sure, and the seller had stated that the one color was the solid yellow and the other was the yellow with the pineapple purplish body and the white fins. So hopefully they color up. Now my camera is probably still being weird and not going to show you in detail, but as you can see here, even if my camera's being a little blurry, you can see that these yellow fish are very yellow in this. Hopefully, anyway. Got the fish yellow up. Really, really hoping.